We are having a serious drought. Hasn't rained all through June, half of May, and now it's the middle of July and I still haven't had any rain. So the tomatoes are thirsty. Anyway, I took the tarp or the cover off of the greenhouse a month or two ago so that it would be cool and I don't need it. I'm using the greenhouse trellis for now as a trellis. Everything seems to be good, even though it is hot. The cucumbers are still producing. That one's kind of funny shaped. I guess the heat does that. It's been 100 degrees almost every single day for the last 3 weeks. Let's go see the other garden. Now this is the epitome of destruction. Look at those eggplants. I have to water them every single evening. Look at those peppers. They have never been so wilted. And because of the extreme heat being 100 degrees every day and no rain, I have had to plant Asian long beans, which are related to the African black-eyed peas, so they will definitely take the heat. They don't like to grow when it's cool. Beans don't like cool weather. Their bacteria that's in the soil that is symbiotic to them getting food doesn't thrive unless the soil is very warm. So when you plant beans in the early spring, if they look sick, it's because they're cold. There's nothing you can do about it. But I just planted these today, these long beans, next to the tomatoes, because since I'm going to be watering these tomatoes anyway, I decided it'd be good to share the water with something else that likes the heat. And besides, the tomatoes, when it gets this hot, they need shading. Things are so desperate for water that the animals are pecking the bean leaves off. But look at how pretty these tomatoes are in spite of, well, there's a bug. You can just pinch them. Look at this beautiful, beautiful tomato. Yeah, I gotta pick them. And I'm not worrying about them crossing up this year. I've got plenty of good pure seeds that I've saved. This year I'm just gonna let them become a mutt, a tomato mutt. It's a cross between two tomatoes. A Ukrainian blue or Russian blue, whatever you want to call it, shouldered tomato here. Definitely ready to pick. Fell right off. And then this giant tomato, which is not giant this year because of the drought. A giant tomato I call the Incredible Hulk, but actually it's the Burgess triple crop. It's a potato leaf variety. Its leaves look a lot like a potato. See? And they make a big tomato. But when it's this dry, they don't do much because they're drying out really bad. And these are tomatillos. They come up wild in my garden every summer. I just let them sprawl out and pick some and let some fall out, and they just stay in their little husk, and by spring some of the seeds actually sprout. So that's what I'm doing here. I'm trying to suffer through the drought, and hopefully it'll rain one of these days, but there's nothing scheduled. We've got another 2 weeks in the hundreds according to the weatherman with not a sign of rain. Weather person, whatever. This is a Corbaci. I got them mixed up with my other seedlings. They're really twisty and they're very productive. And that's one of them. You can sure see how wilty looking my little jalapenos are. I pick them every couple of days. They're very small because they're thirsty and they're not doing well. It's so dry that even the weeds are dried up. These are some other Asian long beans I planted earlier in the year, and they're so dry. Their beans are withering away before they even get a chance to grow. It's pretty bad. See that? And I'm watering them every evening, but it's just not enough. There's some farmer ants taking care of the aphids. Farmer ants are farmers. They raise aphids, and some of them even raise fungus. Pretty interesting. Social insects. You can make use of just about anything for a trellis. I found this old, I don't know where it was, but it's turned out to be a good trellis. But look at how everything's wilting. There's a bug in these leaves. I found it. I could spray BT, which is a bacteria, but why not just kill them yourself with your fingers? It's that easy. And then once you squish them, the smell attracts predators, and then there's nothing left of them. What we really need is rain. There's no hope, no matter if I sprayed it or not. If I don't get some good rain and it doesn't water these plants, the pests are going to keep smelling them and know that they're sick and come and take advantage of them and eat them. If it rains, all the pests will go away. That's how it works. So that's the greenhouse update. This tomato was so productive. Look at that. That's an a determinate tomato, not an indeterminate. A determinate puts all its fruit on at one time and then stops growing. These are indeterminate. They continue to grow, keep fruiting. Oh man, look at the wilt. Look at the wilt on these things. It is awful. They've got to get some rain. They are wilting off. I watered them, but I didn't water close to the plants enough, I guess. It's pretty bad. So, I got this tomato accidentally crossed up with the Cubanelle. It was a jalapeno and purple. Now, Cubanelle and jalapeno cross. One thing about your gardens, if you start saving your seeds, you're going to accidentally cross some and make your own varieties. It just works that way. And eventually, sometimes your varieties produce better than the original pure variety did, because you start adapting to what's good for your area. Anyway, I'm just hoping we'll get some rain because the entire environment is thirsty. But see, we finally got some clouds in the sky, but no chance of rain. So they say, but it's rain when they said there wasn't a chance.